We make a lot of jokes about Michael on the show, and I think he's actually getting a bit worried, a bit hurt about all the banter we've been giving him. But Michael...
We're never going to give you up. Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Gould and Kirwan show, or In Conversation with Gould and Kirwan. So we have an apology to make for last week.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And the shambles of the show that was last week. It wasn't one of our finest, but it was an interesting lesson. 100%.
I feel, I didn't really apologise enough for my swearing on the show. 30 seconds from the end, it kind of descended into laughter. I am sorry, and it won't happen again. Fans.
We also should apologise because
it's a good start.
Part of the thing that we've asked people to do when they listen to our show is to send us in stories and jokes and ideas. So when the two people sent us in their, I can't remember what the topic was. It was on the debate. Was it on a debate? No, it was on silly things your friends have done. Yes. And they were very bad, but we were very mean to them. So this week we're going to try and we're trying to find our feet as a show. I say I'm not even in the title credits this week, so thanks guys. But so we're going to try and be less mean.
More meme.
Please feel free to just... Terrible. Please feel free to send in anything you want, from abuse to stories to whatever.
That's imperative actually, as the last about 20 minutes of the show is dedicated to your topics.
To you, the fans.
We thought we'd give back a bit. So please comment in. We promise we won't be that mean. Hopefully. No, we'll be good.
We'll be lovely. We'll be lovely.
So, let's get on with the start of the show.
Well, I just wanted to kick off with a brief look back at my illustrious time rowing in first year at university, because I think I had two of the most humiliating moments of my life. We joined the rowing team in first year. None of us knew really why. I think we all just became competitive with each other off the bat because it seemed quite cool. I had no intention of doing it ever.
So testosterone played a big part in this.
I think so.
The social prestige of a rower.
The social prestige sort of dies because you've got 13 training sessions a week.
Was this when the calendar was the calendar around at this time?
Calendar was the end of the year, which was very strange, but we'll not get into that yet.
Okay.
So, I'm obviously very good and very strong, very fit. You wouldn't know to look at me now because I've wasted away.
Quite doughy.
Yeah, exactly. But at the time, I was in good shape, and for some reason I got injured, so I had to get moved down from the top boat to the second boat. And I was already in a bad mood. The rest of the lads, these lads, they didn't really care about rowing that much. The likes of Callum Cant, the likes of Josh Kenyon.
Big names.
The likes of Laurie Holtz, okay?
Laurie, Jesus.
These lads weren't very good rowers. In the second boat, big deal. We get moved down, and we have to go to, I think it was Bucks Head of the River. Head of the River is like a sort of time trial race sort of thing.
Right.
So we're warming up, rowing up at the start. The way what happens before a race is, you take the boat off the back of the van and you screw it in together.
Yeah.
So we're rowing, and our cock's at the front. The cock's is the little small person who sits at the front and, tells you, row, row, row.
Yep.
Very interesting job. And they were like, guys, sorry, it's getting a bit wetter than usual. Obviously, sitting at the front of the boat, it is going to, there's going to be water coming in.
There's some splashback.
But they were like, some splashback. But they're like, no, it actually is, it's filling up. It's filling up. What's happening? None of us realised that we hadn't screwed the boat together properly.
Was you have a hole in the side or something?
Not a hole in the side. The boat is in sort of two halves of a banana that gets joined together. And it was just started to sink. Well, it started to tip at one end.
So was water running in through the bottom? You through the bottom?
Pretty much. In all the boat was started to fill up with water.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're rowing up. We're the second boat. We're trying to be really cool. We're all looking really strong and really good shape. But the boat's obviously sinking. And there's no officials around at the start, so we're trying to wave at anyone, but also kind of row, because if we don't row, the boat's going to sink.
Did the boat sink?
It didn't quite get there. A safety boat came out and got us. All the rest of the lads...
Back.
Yeah, we were towed back to jeers from the crowd. All the rest of the lads thought it was a big laugh, laughing. I'm there burying my hands in my face.
You take rowing seriously?
Well, I did at the time.
Yeah.
But after that, I had one more race left in me. I was like, look, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something else. I'll do one more race. We go down in the day, and we have it's about a 3.5k race.
Right. Is that a lot?
Kilometres, guys.
Yeah. So it's quite a bit, yeah. And what messed me up was that I didn't get the proper oar at the start. They're called blades, but okay, I'll just, use
Dumb it down for us.
Dumb it down. And it was too big for my hands, so every time I rolled it round, it was hurting me a little bit. So at 800 meters from the end, 800 meters from the end, I slipped a little bit holding onto it, and what happened was I caught a crab, which means the oar gets stuck under the water and nearly hits me out of the boat.
I just imagine that you just put your hand in the water and picked up a crab.
Yeah, when I first heard the story,
and that mayhem ensued in the boat where there's a crab in there.
But what happened was I was nearly catapulted out of the boat, but my crab was so strong, because we've had crabs before and you recover in maybe like 5-10 seconds. The oar swung round and hit the person 2 seats in front of me, who fell back, hit the person in front of me, whose oar swung back, hit the person sitting behind me. So out of the 8 people in the boat, 4 had fallen out of their seats. Mayhem ensued. We were like at a standstill for the next 50 seconds. We were 800 meters from the end. It would have been over in like a minute or 2. It was absolute catastrophe.
Were you winning?
Probably not.
It doesn't matter anyway then. Well, did you introduce that as a social faux pas?
Well, we could say
I think
it is.
you might
then.
have done.
Yeah.
And because I was just thinking it's not really a classic thing, happens to everyone.
Yeah.
The old crab when rowing. but no, we've got some social faux pas of our own, I think.
Yeah.
Wait, Michael, because I think it's a good place to start for your one that you were telling me the other day.
Oh, okay. So I'm half Irish, half Lebanese, and my dad's best friend in Lebanon, her son got his ear bitten off by a horse. So this is like the first time I'd met him.
Just these stories from Ireland, it just sounds so ridiculous.
This is the first time I've met him. He's playing with my younger brother. They're playing. He pushes my younger brother. It's all fun and games, we're all messing around. And
Until a horse bites your ear off. That's a saying, I swear.
Not at all.
Okay.
Well, anyway, I sort of angrily, as the authority figure, sort of say, "Hey, guys, stop horsing around," which is something I just don't say. Like, who says that nowadays? Like, it's not a common phrase.
To the guy,
but I look at him directly and say, "Stop horsing around."
To the guy whose ear was
bitten off by a horse. Now his ear was sewn back on, but it was very traumatic.
His real ear.
How well was it sewn on?
Well, I couldn't notice at the time.
Was it made
but I wasn't like sort of looking.
No,
potentially,
it was
maybe a
the same.
bionic ear. But that was just, for me, I was completely mortified in that moment.
That sounds awful, and it reminds me very much of Horatio's day-to-day living.
Oh yeah, I'm just not great.
Horatio is essentially socially enabled.
Yeah,
just various things, and the thing that frustrates me the most about him is his inability to hold the door open for other people.
I can't get it. I can't understand.
Literally, regardless of how close they are, he just won't ever just extend his hand slightly behind his hold the door.
It's not like a thing.
I've experienced this.
I used to get offended by it, but I've now just taken it as he cannot process.
It doesn't work.
When to do it.
Don't take it personally. It's like I don't have that subconscious reflex.
But
and then also when people are holding the door for me, I don't know where to. I wait for them to come through, and then as soon as they start walking, then I walk through. I cannot work it out.
Some of the door frame conversations we've had and trying to squeeze past people
terrible.
when I'm just apologising for you behind is one of the worst.
Yeah.
But I think the worst social faux pas we've had of all is to come right now with our adventures in our house water polo competition.
God.
Explain the house thing again.
All right, so at school.
What sort of school?
Private
It
school.
was a private
That
school.
had houses.
Yeah, it had houses.
Okay,
It's basically like
this is all new to me.
yeah. So it was like Hogwarts. It was Hogwarts for Tories, basically.
Essentially.
is what it was. And we always had these house events. Our house was terrible at all sports, but we're like, no one knows how to play water polo. And we only play water polo once a year, every year. So we're going to get really good at water polo.
And we did.
And we did.
We were sick.
Because we spent about 5 years together, and each year we come back and we had the same positions. We take it very seriously.
We developed our new strategy.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Essentially, we said we had our friend Andy at the back, in defence, chuck it forward, Horatio, midfield,
It was-
chuck it
yeah.
forward, goal.
Easy
Peasy.
But it wasn't all fun and games.
Yeah, so we, as I said, we were decent, so we got to the...
Just a quick question: where did you practice the water polo?
We didn't practice. We practiced once a year.
Well, we do a few literally dry runs in the house, running around, pretending to swim, and just throwing a foot.
It's more mental preparation.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
fair
go.
enough.
We get the notepad out, do a few sketches about what we're
So you
thinking.
didn't
of
like
doing in the
practice
pool.
swimming or anything anywhere?
Well,
No.
most of us couldn't swim, but it didn't.
No, there was a house swimming competition as well, but that was reserved for swimming as opposed to water polo. So there was very little time to actually get in there. But just a visual for everyone, we did have to wear the hats.
Yeah.
The little,
lovely.
The little red and blue hats. If you've never seen what water polo hat looks like, they're hilarious.
So funny.
So,
Comedy.
as I said, we're pretty good at water polo. So we got to the semi-finals of the competition.
It's a
And
big deal. There's a lot of pressure.
It is. There's a big crowd.
The house expects a lot from us.
It's one of the it's pretty much all the boys in the school as a crowd just jeering. If you make a mistake, it's pretty horrendous. So that's a bit of context for you. So semi-finals. It's a draw on the final whistle, and we go to penalties. So I step up first, score. Another guy from the other house steps up, scores. And the context is, we have to say, he was a gentleman of Asian
An Asian
persuasion.
fellow. An Asian fellow.
And so then another guy from our team walked up, takes penalty, scores. Now it's the other team's turn. So they come up and then take their penalty and score. But then Horatio goes, wait, looks at me and goes, he's already been. They're cheating. And I was like, oh my God, they are. Look at him.
So
And
you went along with this?
I was roped in, but I'm not gonna.
I was the worst
okay.
one because I actually grabbed his arm.
Yeah, with the ringleader. So then Horatio goes up, grabs his arm, grabs the ball off him, and shouts, he's already been.
With such righteous anger. I was so proud of myself.
That is horrendous.
And then we look into the crowd.
They all
The
part.
people part ways, and there he is, the guy who took the first penalty, looking at us with horror.
Oh, it's
And me and
terrible.
Horatio just look at the other guy who's just taken this penalty, and it clicks, and we just bury our heads in the water.
Terribly racist.
And thank God the whole crowd didn't hear it, because that
private
could be...
school.
Yeah, so sorry to all
not
our Asian
even
fans.
once.
No, that's very true. And, I think we'll go into a song now. Have a bit of Jack Garrett.
My nights are broken up by the sounds of women I'll never meet.
So the flat above us in Tossal, I live on campus in Tossal, 4th year life. They had this really wonderful idea for all the cripplingly lonely and single people to pick names out of a hat and bring along a date for that person.
How did you get these names in a hat? Did you just go to a hat and pick out names? What do you mean?
What?
do you mean
What?
pick
You can't
names
just
out
pick
of a
any
hat?
names, Michael.
Is-
Be more
You
specific.
write down the names
Oh, well,
of
there you
people
go.
in the flat. I already said it was the single lonely people.
Yeah, so the
That's
people
quite a
put
big-
in the names that they or of their friends.
This
presumably.
synergy is really weird. Anyway, so they had this idea that they were going to do this wonderful date night. They're going to go on a group date together. Each person brings along a date for the person they've picked the name out of the hat for.
Yeah.
I don't know if that sentence was grammatically correct, but we'll leave it in. We'll leave it in. So I said, wow, our flat should do that as well. And
Did you say wow? Did you go, wow.
That sounds amazing.
oh, this is
Great idea,
banter.
buddy.
But okay, so I said, wow, let's do that, guys. And I was really excited about it, so I convinced 5 of the members of my flat to do it and get involved. So ours was supposed to be not last night, the night before.
Yep.
But the other flat, theirs was last Saturday before Can't Touch This. I think it was that night. Theirs went catastrophically bad. Okay? Like, I think 4 of the girls in the flat, I think it was about that number, hated their dates. Like, not had like a boring time, not had like,
Yeah, so it was aggressive. It was aggressive
Yeah,
feeling.
like actively
Clear.
dislike the person. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Okay. I shouldn't out this here. But one of the dates that came along, the only sentence they can remember him saying all night was, "That's not the usual colour of pilau rice." Sort of caliber. This was the same person who said,
Do you know what colour the pilau rice was?
I've never had pilau rice, I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah, because like a yellow type of colour. I wonder what... We've lost Andrew. Andrew's completely gone. He's completely gone. The pilau rice really hit him. It really hit him.
Just as a good icebreaker.
He's still going. Let Andrew ride this one out. You back? You good? Oh my God.
But
The pilau rice really got to you, didn't you, Andrew?
That is just
So he said,
so perfect.
that's not the colour of pilau rice. Then supposedly he had to go and pick up his friend, so he had to cut the date short early. He had to go and pick up his friend from the airport. Reports have come in. This is unconfirmed. All of this is unconfirmed, by the way. This is all Chinese whispers that have come to me. So I'm not taking responsibility for anything said
So
here.
move by the
Disclaimer.
No.
But supposedly he came back alone. So we were terrified leading up to our date. We had this amazing idea. It had crashed and burned in the flat above. So There's no real punchline. Ours was
I
nice.
just saw Michael's eyes just widen as he realised he didn't have a punchline for the story.
Pilau rice.
Everyone wanted yours to crash and burn as well, but sadly,
No,
it
ours was lovely. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Fine.
god!
I just literally imagine him having an awful time looking around, just looking down at his rice, being like, "Yeah, I'll talk about that. That'll help."
Might not have been his fault. Might have been his dates. I don't know any of this. I don't know. I just think the line is funny.
You're assuming that he's trying to look for conversation starters. Maybe he's talking to himself. He's so bored, he just whispers it to himself. And she goes, "What was that?"
Oh yeah.
Nothing.
It's just like,
Nothing.
oh, this is. Oh, I know.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
the chance.
preferable.
I don't know what this guy's like.
That's the best thing I've ever heard about pilau rice.
Yeah,
I would love to have seen that comment uphold.
I still think he has a better date life than me, though. To be honest, because I
would agree.
I guess me with the ladies, it's a strange conundrum I have because I'm not bad at talking to girls. I'm not. I live with my mum and my sister. But sadly,
They count. I promise.
Sadly,
I'm not, what did you just say?
I said I live with two girls.
I'm
in my
not
house.
bad at talking to girls. I talk to my mum and my
No,
sister.
I said I live with my mum and my sister. So I talk to
Yeah,
them
but
on
with
a
the
regular basis.
implication that okay.
Okay,
no,
okay,
no,
continue. I
Was
wanna
that a
actually-
little,
we
was
wanna
that a
hear
little
the
bit
theory.
incesting?
We wanna hear
Was
the
that
theory.
A little bit. That
Okay.
was.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Full blown.
All right.
Right, so
Only cousins.
continue with the story.
Yeah, well, it's not really a story. It was more of just musing on the fact that, yeah, I could speak to girls. But the problem is I just become really... I get along too well with them, and I just become... I have a string of just friends now.
So this is kind of... You're trying to self-deprecate here.
Yeah, no, this
But
is meant to be like generic
because I'm too great and then
I
you wouldn't be
think
friends
that
with
is
me.
what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head.
But, okay, so you're saying you're fine at talking to them, but you're too good at talking
I'm too
to
good
them.
at talking because they're like, I just like this guy. I don't want to ruin him.
What do you talk about?
Ruin me,
Because
ladies.
if it's pilau rice, you're not good at talking.
Yeah, well, actually, because you guys all laugh at the pilau rice thing. I thought
nice.
that was one of my best pickup lines.
Well, I guess that's that then, but I don't know.
I think you're skirting dangerously using the term friend zone, which I abhor. Like that is one of the worst terms that guys use to describe their.
But you're not in the friend zone. You don't know how we feel.
So
discuss your issues with friend zone
just
for the public.
I feel like it's a term that guys, use when they talk to a girl. They're nice to a girl, and then they expect sex from them.
Yeah,
just because of that there.
I feel that.
Like, this isn't funny. Like, it's just it's just a horrible term. It's like the classic nice guy,
Yeah.
tips
No,
the fedora.
we don't expect we don't expect sex. We hope for it. It's not an expect.
Horatio, please. not even in a joking context. Please, this is making me red.
I'm putting a stop to this. All aboard the news train.
Kick it, Fiona.
Live from your student radio station.
This is Raw News Update.
She didn't show up again.
She's not here again.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
What has happened?
This is.
We gave her entrance music. I thought she just
we stretched it out for so long, just in case.
Yeah.
What's the next segment?
Things we hate more
last
than
time Fiona left.
Last
time Fiona didn't come, the whole show disintegrated into an absolute shambles.
And now
I'm terrified.
I'm
now.
terrified.
of
I don't
what's gonna
trust
happen.
anyone here.
Okay.
We're all on edge.
Concentrate on not swearing.
Okay.
I'll
yeah,
try
I've
and
got
play
it. And
different
it's trying to-
songs.
Okay.
To be fair, you've done well because at least that time you did it the right side of the
Oh
news
yeah.
talk.
If you guys listened last time when he spoke over the jingle.
Right. We're gonna have to go into our next segment.
Kate
Crikey,
Winslet.
we really need topics. we need topics, guys. We're gonna run out because
running
Fiona
dry.
has left us for dead here.
All right.
So, right on to our next segment. Things we hate. So, who wants to kick us off?
I'll take us away. You hear this phrase a lot. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And it's like how long is this piece of string? It's like a question you can't answer. When people say what came first, chicken or the egg, it's the egg. It's clearly the egg. I don't understand how it's got so
You're gonna
far.
have to elaborate on that claim because that's not right.
Yeah.
You don't just get chicken. The chicken had to come from an egg, and then the egg was obviously laid by a creature during evolution who was before
Yes,
the
Yeah,
chicken.
this
in
is
the stage.
we found this out outside just before we came to the radio station. We were thinking of topics to discuss, and it was just the way you said this Like, yeah, no. Why is this a discussion? I've got the answer. I'm a genius.
I don't think I've got
18-year-old film student.
Thinks he knows everything.
Scientists would agree with me.
So
the scientists.
I get
would
what
agree.
what you're thinking. You're taking it as what came first, literally the chicken or the egg. I know you're saying it wasn't
As
a
opposed to
chicken.
figuratively.
It wasn't a chicken.
You've marked a moment in history in which chicken was.
Yes.
And that was
they
the
have-
first chicken
yeah,
ever. That
but
was the chicken.
Choose any moment in history where you think, because sure, you can define a chicken. Any moment you choose for the first chicken, there must have been a moment where there was the first, what we define as a chicken. And any definition, it had to come from an egg.
So what we'd say is in retort to what your argument.
So the
is,
animal that gave birth to the chicken, what was that?
Yeah, that's
That
what I
was
saying.
either a earlier formation of a chicken, which
Right.
wasn't quite a chicken. It doesn't matter how far along the line you take it. The chicken, the formation,
Back until
the
like
chicken,
bacteria,
Yeah,
like until
yeah.
like single cell amoebas.
Evolution. So,
So
maybe
the cell was the first
Evolution.
thing. It wasn't the egg. It was the cell.
yeah.
Okay, so you're wrong then.
What?
Okay, great. Let's move on.
No, it wasn't just that. Wait, hold on. You
That
can't
was
just-
terrible.
You can't just choose a cell. What do you mean a cell? What are you talking about? Nonsense. What? I'm talking about a chicken or an egg. Why are you bringing the cell into this?
Let's pretend that evolution didn't happen,
Okay.
right?
Then it
that
works.
Chickens
Yeah.
just came from somewhere.
Yeah.
Then it works.
Then it works.
So what you're saying is that.
Yeah.
Could you just say it again? I really don't understand what you're saying here.
Chicken, and can everyone message in to agree with me?
Chicken.
Obviously. Okay, look.
terrible.
The chicken or the egg, the chicken had to come from an egg. All right?
But where did that egg come from?
The egg came from an animal which was further along,
Yep.
further backwards in the evolutionary scale.
Here's the thing.
But surely, if there was no evolution, then God just made the chicken.
What are we saying? All right, fine.
No.
Maybe
What
the saying
you're
was made
taking this-
before evolution theory.
You're taking this
and-
too literally. Because it's not just like what came first, the chicken. There isn't a focus on the chicken. It's more that what happened first. Because the egg's got to come from somewhere, and the chicken's got to come from an egg. That's the whole conundrum. It's not just about specifically focused on this chicken.
He's got such a weird blank stare.
Nothing
No,
that's in his eyes.
I think it does have to be taken literally because it's used as this kind of formation for something that you have no idea to. The egg came before the chicken. It literally did. It must have, unless
But where did that egg come from?
from a formation of a chicken which was earlier in the evolutionary scale.
Yeah,
Right,
But that's
okay.
still somewhere. So then where did that thing come from?
Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the chicken.
We're not just talking about the chicken.
Well, we are because the debate. It says that it didn't say what came first, life or the egg. It was the chicken or the egg.
Do you ever hear of a metaphor, Horatio?
Yeah.
That's not a metaphor. What's no?
No, that is you're
Because like, how
you're
long does a
thinking
piece of
this too
string
literally.
works?
You
That
are thinking-
works. But you have to, even if you take that literally,
I
that
feel like we're
works.
veering towards a swearing portion of the show.
Yeah, sorry.
We need to calm down.
Yeah, sorry, no. You guys
Okay.
are wrong, by the way. All right, move on.
Not true. Right.
What do you hate, Andrew?
Oh wait, hold up, Joseph Mortimer. We agree with you, Horatio. That's plural. His whole flat.
Who's Joseph?
Joseph
And we don't
agreed
care
with
what
me,
Joseph
I
has to
believe,
say.
on
Yeah,
the
he
two
did.
sandwich
On the
debate.
sandwich debate, he was on your
Well,
side.
he's clearly an unreliable source. Every single matter.
To be fair, Andrew
Oh.
does do A-level history, so...
A level.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, Fiona, please come back and save me! Oh, Jesus.
The failures of Horatio's dating life.
I'm going to try that Peli Rice line on her.
Right. Okay. What do I hate then? I hate what it is people incapable of adhering to the social rules and politics of walking and various movement around society. I.e., if you're walking 3 abreast on a path that is 3 abreast wide, if you get what I'm saying, don't do it. I nearly swore then because this really
Even
gets
Andrew,
me going.
Mr. Consistent, Mr. Smooth Talking Radio Man.
I love that the intro to like the thing, I just hate people who don't adhere to the social and political, and it was nearly an interesting topic, and it was about walking.
Because Andrew has these things, because I'm with the door, and
And it infuriates
and he just
me.
with the whole social procedure. Because just because you find it easy, Andrew, some of us
Here's
struggle.
another interesting thing. This is a more niche one. These are for the top walking politicians out there. When you're on different side of the road from someone else, right? And you can clearly see that you are walking quicker than them, right? And they're ahead of you on the other side of the road, but they're walking slower. But they need to cross the road, and the path is only one person big, right?
Abreast.
Now, if you will. So you see them crossing the road, and you both know that me, in this context, is walking quicker
Andrew.
than them. But when they go in front, and if they cross the road in front of you, that's poor walking politics. Because I can't overtake them now. Do you see what I'm saying?
I got completely confused.
I
when you
can't
said
even
other side of
follow
the
that,
road.
like,
I can't
that
follow
concept.
because he's obviously thought about this a lot. But
I've not thought about
I
this
really
at
don't care
all.
about walkie politics. I think it's
I don't
kind
think either of us
it's
do.
more survival of the fittest.
No, like when you're
Three are best. Make yourself one of those
right
three.
when people in a shop are standing in the aisle.
Which shop?
Why?
I just want a bit more kind of just to paint the picture.
Any shop. This is a
Okay.
political concept.
All right, fine.
Then, so they're standing in the aisle, looking at stuff, picking up stuff, and they're standing like in the middle of it. And then there's another person who they're with taking up, so between them they take up the whole aisle.
You lost me at
Anarchy!
Okay.
Who are these people that do
Okay.
that?
Let's move on.
Why do you get to tell when we can move on?
Because I've never
I'm cutting your mic.
I've never had any vestige.
You're gone. Michael's gone from the show.
Michael's actually gone. He's still blabbering away, but his mic's off.
You want to come back? Apologise.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
There he goes,
Okay.
back.
I had another. The topic I was planned on saying was that I hated. I was going to tell the guys, pick something important to hate, and I hate Jeremy Hunt's policies, and I think today's a really important day, and I think we should all stand in solidarity with the striking junior doctors. However, during that bit there, I noticed something that's been creeping into our interactions as friends, and it's this weird, awkward pause that we do for each other that, like, throws us all off. So, like, whenever we're hanging out socially now, to everyone back home, we've got this weird competitive element where one of us will say something and it just slightly won't hit. It will slightly not be. It won't be that funny. And then the night's ruined.
It's gone.
Because
It's
from
gone.
then, all of us are
The
just
atmosphere
terrified to say something.
We have a very tense friendship, all three of us, actually.
And it started off as like the sort of like, oh yeah, that's a good one.
Bit meta.
Bit of banter. Oh, you said a terrible joke. Everyone would pause. That's a good one. Continue as normal. Now we're just stuck in that mire. So that I think now the show is like under threat.
We're bringing that onto the show.
That's what I felt.
Oh
there.
God, it's happening.
I'm just
felt
gonna have
that
about
there.
like 5 seconds, like a minute of radio silence while we all just equally look at each other.
Do you think we should just play a song and make up and then come back
Yeah, I
and
think so.
rejuvenated?
Yeah, did I play Swim Deep?
Oh, he's checking again. Oh, actually, are you serious?
No, I play Swim Deep. That was a nice little segment. Did you see what I did there? No, fine. Right, so we have asked you to send in topics and you have not obliged. We've got very few, but we're going to give it a shot. So the main one, actually, the main contributor / only. Have you got? Okay, fine.
On my
Joe's-
status, it's only this
your
person.
mum.
Yeah, it's my mum. So shout outs to my mum.
Sonia.
Love you very much. My mum has commented. My mum is of a generation that doesn't use punctuation anymore when they type. So I'm going to read it as she's sent it to me. In work, so can't tune in, but can you please discuss that today is Ash Wednesday and everyone in my school is walking around with black crosses on their forehead, having been told to repent and believe in the gospel, and I'd like to know what everyone is giving up for Lent, and also the concept of Willie Fraser publicly joking about how to spot a Fenian. Well, that should be fun. So
Message in, guys.
let's unpack that a little bit. Yeah, obviously today's Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent.
Obviously.
Lent is 40 days that Jesus spent in the desert, I think.
And 40 nights.
Oh yeah, and the 40.
Clever.
Yeah.
So usually, I'm raised in a Catholic tradition. I wouldn't call myself a Catholic anymore, but that's a lie. Sorry, Mum. I didn't go to. I didn't go to. I didn't go to Ash Wednesday Mass today.
Does she not know about your
My
Satanism?
Forehead is clean. But I am giving up smoking, I guess, for Lent. Well, for life, hopefully. But
Yeah.
it's been so many attempts at this stage.
You think about anything for Lent, Andrew?
No.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything either.
Doing bad radio shows.
Nice, that's good.
Yeah?
I like that. That's good. That's a
Great
wild
joke.
Just get out. I'm so fed up of you.
Yeah, I take back our intro. I'm never going to give you one.
But so Mum has also mentioned that there's a fella called Willie Fraser and also the concept of Willie Fraser publicly joking about how to spot a Fenian.
What's a Fenian?
Okay, so Mum doesn't really realise that this is going to be mainly going out to like
Northern
English
Irish.
people. Yeah, no, not Northern Irish people,
Oh, yeah.
but English people. I obviously live in Northern Ireland. Willie Fraser is a very controversial politician. I'd be a Republican. I want
Is he a unionist then?
He would be a unionist, very virulent, like angry unionist.
Yeah.
But he has said recently that he spotted Fenian-looking people. A Fenian is like a Republican. It's like the old term for a Republican or a nationalist.
Okay.
But he's just spotted Fenian-looking people outside his house.
I mean, like acting shifty. Like, what are they doing?
How does a Fenian look?
He hasn't given any descriptions, I don't think. He just that one signifier, that one term.
I wonder is he like peering through the blinds?
He's one of the main.
Or do you think it's like
Darn Fenians.
He's one of the
Gotta
main.
find lawn, you Fenians.
He's one of the main. It was a great accent. He's one of the main champions of the flag movement. So like the only politics that really gets done in Northern Ireland. I shouldn't say this because my friends will kill me because they're all really politically involved. But the only politics that gets done is like debates about flags.
Oh really?
So like Union Jacks going up and going down, tricolours going up and going down, and Willie Fraser is a big part of the reason for that.
All I know about is Eamon Holmes. Is he part of it? He's got a funny voice. That's all I remember.
Eamon Holmes is an ITV presenter.
Is he political?
Eamon Holmes.
I don't know.
Yeah, Eamon
he is.
Holmes.
He does Sky
Holmes.
News in the morning, so I presume he has political
I swear he's like a really angry.
He's right wing, I think. I think he's a
Probably,
unionist.
yeah.
He's not a great guy.
No, not really.
Eamon.
Yes. All right. Okay. No, because it's funny that you're talking about your mum messaging in. I realise now that my mum basically doesn't listen to the show, and it's not like she can't work technology. Like I tell her to listen to the show, and she just kind of sighs like, "Oh, all right, fine." And I wouldn't actually say this about my mum, but I know she's not going to listen, so I'm actually in safe ground now, and I can just say. And if she does, then maybe it's fair enough. But I send her my stand-up, I send her my films. She never watches any of it. She gets more proud of me when I tidy my room than all of my creative work so far in my life.
Whereas like my mum has flown over like the 3 plays I've been in at Warwick. Like, I've been in the front row every night of every play I do at home. But my mum's got like an unhealthy obsession with like going to see the stuff I'm in. So like,
can your mum come see my stuff as well? I just don't have a mother figure.
I've got a topic.
Oh,
It's from Izzy.
Not one of those nutty chocolate bars.
Who's Izzy?
My girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. I don't want to read it out now.
Andrew's got a girlfriend.
Things I hate. Ready?
My boyfriend.
Love it. Right, things I hate.
great one.
Public toilets that have the weird bit where you open the door and you're in a weird hallway before you open the next door and you're in the actual toilet. You're literally in purgatory / no man's land. And I have no idea why it is there, like it is to stop the smell, but then why don't all toilets have it? Like, seriously, what is it for?
That's a good question, Izzy.
Oh, because I think we've had this discussion before, and do we all know what we're talking about, where you go into a toilet?
It's like an
It says,
airlock.
Michael, you look absolutely
I'm
perplexed.
trying to like, yeah.
Right,
like
so
an
you go
airlock.
into there'll be signs for toilets. You open a door, you go in, and there's a weird little space, and then you go into another door, and that's where the actual toilets are.
okay.
So why are they there?
So sort of the space that
'Cause
my friend kissed the girl in the airport.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
That's
exactly,
another
yeah.
show, guys.
But so that is a fair question, because I remember retorting immediately with like the smell, because surely that's going to minimise it if you have 2 doors.
But it just seems like quite a big architectural thing. I don't know. I like to build like a big wall. I don't know if that's like they would actually do that just for the smell.
Well, no, yeah, because then you had the question: why doesn't everyone do it?
What's Izzy's problem with it again? Just the.
What's Izzy's problem
she's
in
confused.
general?
She hates it because she hates it because she doesn't
to be honest.
understand
Well,
it.
because you do have some where the doors are too close together, so like it struggles to open 2 at the same time.
Yes, I understand that, but I'm not really sure. I think that's one for we'll have to do it. We'll think about it and come back to you next show. Alabama Shakes there with Don't Want to Fight. We'll make a quick apology for the last because well, Izzy just texted me saying you didn't do that justice.
girlfriend.
It's one of our society's
I'm
biggest
sorry.
mysteries. It's completely unnecessary, and we were going to divulge a bit more into that, but Michael just suddenly started frantically pointing,
And Andrew didn't know what to
waving, pointing at a song, pointing at the time. So I just kind of terrified.
I thought it was
looked
the
at
end
him.
of the hour.
I just played the song,
over.
and then I played it, and he just stared at me like he put his head in his hands because he thought it was the end of the
This is a
show,
nightmare.
but it was 10 minutes early. So we're sorry for not going into that enough, but it's important, I guess. So,
yeah, I've got another topic sent in by my good friend Alex Rossetti. They started off by saying, I quite enjoyed the show crashing and burning towards the end of last week, so I won't send in a topic. Then they said algebraic number theory. Now they've said weird things you've done to procrastinate or otherwise to avoid something.
Okay.
So how do you guys spend your time procrastinating?
Well, me and Andrew actually talk about this a lot because I am one of the worst procrastinators.
you're up there, yeah.
I like it's seriously like people say like they procrastinate, they have a little giggle, they think they're silly. It's a serious issue. Andrew is kind of disgustingly unprocrastinating, if that's a thing.
What do you mean what do you do?
Well, he sits down. Do you know what he says sometimes? He goes, if we're meeting in like an hour, he says, "Oh, I'll just do work for an hour," and he'll just do work for an hour. And
That's so impressive.
It's so gross.
That's so good.
And then he'll wake up. Oh, I'll just do a couple of hours. And like sometimes if I'm breaking it, he can just sit down and do work, and it's just work, and then stop work. He just switches it on and off. It's not like, or maybe I might get 10 minutes of work in this hour.
Guilty.
But then,
what do you do?
well, the thing is, I think this might be a bit of post-rationalization, but procrastination is everything creative I've ever made has been due to procrastination. All the plays I've ever written, all the films have been during exam season.
Is this
You can
another
tell.
humble brag? Is this another humble brag?
I asked you guys in the break if it sounded too.
No, we knew it was a
lulled you
humble
into a
brag. We
false
wanted to
sense
call
of
you
security.
out.
What about you then?
Oh, I'm
Michael?
so nice to girls, but I'm too nice to
I didn't
girls.
say nice.
I'm too nice.
I write plays in exam period.
I just
when
can't
I
get in academic work, but I'm just such a
creative
genius.
force. Oh my god.
My procrastination's awful. Like, I saw a comment on a YouTube video the other day, which was, it was on a video, how to play the blues harmonica, and a guy commented saying, why am I here? I don't even play the harmonica. I've got 5 hours before I have to hand in my essay. And that is me. I have done that so many times. I've found this channel on YouTube called Simply Unlucky. The guy has maybe tens or hundreds of thousands of views. All he does is open Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, and I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh, but his videos are so therapeutic that I find myself watching these 20-minute unboxing videos just saying like, he's having a good time. Like, I have no idea how to get stuck into a hard day's work.
That's insane.
No, I understand.
How long?
I've been on so many strange.
How long? How long are these videos? How long do you?
tens.
What's your
10,
longest
20
session?
minutes?
Do you ever watch more than one in a sitting?
Potentially.
This is insane.
Andrew, this is what it's like.
Because everyone. Obviously, I procrastinate a bit in terms of doing stuff that I actively enjoy. But that's just mindless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I'm trying to cut it out. This is Lent. Okay, it's gonna get cut.
I get what you mean, because I've looked at top 12 celebrity makeup fails, like the South American version. People I don't even know, and I'm looking for them, and they're always. Yeah, it's true. It's really true. I've listened to the shipping news once. I turned it on. I looked for it, and I listened to 20 minutes of it.
Anything just to
It's so
knock
true.
it into work.
And it's like, why didn't I do something I enjoy?
That being said, I did get an 81 yesterday.
Oh, awful person.
Do you want to discuss last night?
Oh yeah, very well. We've just got enough time. Go on then.
Yeah.
Your idea.
Last night we went to Stuart Lee. If you guys don't know his stand-up, he is honestly the funniest comedian who's ever lived.
Brilliant.
And it was amazing last night. Got to meet him. Got a cheeky photo. All the radio gang were there. It was
Check it
great.
out on Facebook.
Matt sadly had to take the photo. I felt quite bad. We were with another guy, and I was like, "Should we get the radio gang photo?" We all just turned to Matt.
You know what to do.
But Stuart looked pretty miserable in our photo. If you take a look at his face, you really didn't want to be there.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But there was a point at the halfway break when we went out for the interval and we're outside, and Horatio goes, "Oh yeah, I really really like these jokes." Horatio's the one who's been pushing us to come the most.
He was the reason we came.
I'm a super fan.
And he's like, I really, really like these jokes. I really, really like these jokes. But I've heard some of them before. It's like the 2008 era. You know what I mean?
I did not say era.
You said
I
it was
did not say
the
era.
2008 material.
You might as well have
2008
said
material.
era. It was
Era.
The Stuart Lee scholar amongst us, being able to pick through his stand-up.
I mean, that was I conceded defeat after I said that. It was pretty bad. But then you saw your battle rapper, and you just like a little girl.
Oh my god, yeah, I panicked there. I was like, I follow
running
battle
around.
rap quite a bit, and I saw a famous battle rapper who come down to Ward to see it, and I sort of followed him a little bit for incognito, and then was like, hey, really enjoy your battles. Goodbye, sorry. Didn't really know what to say.
Well, looking at the time, it's coming near the end of our show.
I would like to shout out to Raucous, which is an amazing group of people on campus who are taking food that would otherwise be thrown out and giving it out to free on campus, and they're raising money for charity. I'd also like to shout out Jacker's Delight, which is a night happening this Friday in the Assembly. It's going to be a really, really fun night. House, disco and soul music. I'd love to see you there.
Please like and subscribe on the Gould and Kirwan Radio YouTube, our podcast thing. We need as many subscribers as we can get. Thank you.
Well, I think now it's time to get out the studio. Well, thanks. Well, we had a fantastic ending.
I literally forgot it. I literally forgot
I've
it.
never been more. One of the.
What was it?
Okay,
What was it?
I've never actually been more angry than now. That I'm fuming. Hold on. We have always had, whenever we have a shambles of a radio show, our ending and our exit always pull it together at the end.
God.
We have never messed up an exit. That was.
What song is it? Just.
Okay, no, because I'm
Whisper
gonna.
to the song. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I got it. Hey, Andrew. Oh, it's sunny outside, isn't it?
Why would you say that?
Oh my god, this is terrible.
Oh, it's time to get out of the studio, isn't it, Andrew? The weather's nice.
It's t-shirt weather.